What's going on, family? Welcome back to another one. So, I want to ask you, have you ever asked yourself, am I treating people the way that God needs me to treat them? Am I talking to people in the way that God needs me to talk to them? Am I loving people in the capacity that God needs me to love them in? And if you're not, look, I'm not here to judge anybody, because you already know what this is. This is the safe house. This is a safe place for you to express whatever feelings that you may have, whatever you're going through within your life. Look, this is the safe house. This is where you do this at. And so I just want to be able to bring this to you because this is something that I deal with. It's been many situations in my life where I have not treated people in the way that God needed me to treat them. I have not treated people in the likeness, in the way that He has treated me. It's been many times where I didn't talk to people in the way that He needed me to talk to them. I didn't talk to them in a loving way. I didn't talk to them in a respectful way. It's been many times where, especially in the past, where I've cussed people out, I've yelled, I screamed, I threw adult tantrums. I just acted all type of ways that was not of God. So I get it. I can't judge anybody. And that's why I'm making this video, because I had to sit down and think to myself, am I treating people the way that God needs me to treat them? Am I loving them in the capacity that He needs me to love them? Am I talking to them in the way that He would talk to me? Am I making these people feel good about themselves and the things that I do? Because a lot of times we find ourselves in situations where we may get emotional, or we may feel some type of way about things, and we begin to treat the person that's on the other end in a disrespectful way. We begin to treat them in ways that are less than them. We begin to put them in positions that God never intended them to be in. And we have to learn to check ourselves. We have to learn to evaluate our actions and, what we're putting out on this earth. Because God is not calling us to talk to anybody disrespectfully. He's not calling us to love anybody inappropriately. No. But why do we find ourselves doing that? Why do we find ourselves in positions where we're constantly disrespecting other people by what we say, by what we do, by how we feel? You may get emotional about something and then take it out on somebody else, and they may have nothing to do with that situation. Or they may have something to do with that situation, but that still does not mean you react out of an irrational state of mind. And I get it. Sometimes it's hard. When you're upset, you're upset. And sometimes it's hard to see the bigger picture, when you're experiencing an influx of emotions at one time. So I get that. But we have to do a better job, man, especially as believers of the word, as followers of Christ, of watching how we put things out to people. We do. And, as I was reading, there's certain things that stood out to me that I want to bring to your attention. One of them was in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 8, and it says this. It said, remember that the Lord will reward each one of us for the good that we do here on this earth. And the good that we do here on this earth can be categorized in a lot of different ways, but some of them can be categorized by how we treat people. Do you think right now, if you evaluate yourself, right, do you think you deserve an award for how you treat people? Ask yourself that. Do you think you deserve an award for how you treat people? Do you think you deserve an award for how you talk to people? Do you think you deserve an award for how you love people? And if you sit back and you evaluate yourself and your answer is no, then you need some serious changing to do. And I asked myself that, and a lot of the times my answer was no, because I know that I didn't treat people right. I know that I didn't talk to people right. I know it was a lot of things, especially in my previous relationship, that I did that was horrible. It's been a lot of abusive situations. It's been a lot of verbal arguments. It's been a lot of, inconsideration on my part, things that I was doing. And when I look back at these things, and I look back at, my parents and even relationships before that, I don't deserve a lot of the things that I have right now, because I did a lot of horrible things in my past. I've treated people horribly before. And so when I look at my life now, and I'm grateful for everything that God has done and everything that God has given me in my life, but a lot of these things I don't deserve. I still feel like I don't deserve these things because I've done so much and I've caused so much pain in the lives of so many people that I've been with, so many people that I've encountered, things with my children. It's so much that I have done in this life, even to myself. I didn't even love myself properly. I tried to take my own life. I didn't love myself in the way that I needed to love, in the way that I needed to love myself. So therefore, I could not love anybody the way that God needed me to love them, because I didn't even love myself that way. So that's one. Then another thing that came to my mind as well. This in the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 29. Do not use any foul or abusive language. Let everything that you say be good and helpful, so that the words will be encouragement to those who hear it. So are you talking to people in a helpful way? Are you talking to people in a good way, that when somebody talks to you, after that conversation, when they walk off and they leave, they go live their life, are they living encouraged by what you have said to them? Are they living fulfilled by what you have said and put inside of them? Because a lot of times we can say things to a person in a way that would discourage the entire journey that they're on. And I've had that happen to me. People have said things to me that made me extremely discouraged. And I've said things to people that have derailed them from the path that God has had them on. And that's why it's all about self-evaluation. We have to evaluate ourselves to see if we are doing things in the way that God needs us to do it. You have to understand the position and the authority that God has given you. You have influence on people. God has given you a spiritual and special gift to where you have influence on people. The words that you use and the things that you do will affect their life and affect how they conduct their life as well. And the Bible tells us this in Colossians chapter 4, verse 5. It said, live wisely among those who are not believers. And so I'm going to take it a bit further. We have to live wisely amongst everybody. And when we're living wisely amongst everybody, we're watching how we say things. We're evaluating the situation to see, what is it that I need to do in this present time to where this person right here will feel fulfilled. They will feel encouraged in this present time. You have to be intentional about the things that you do. You have to be intentional about the things that you say. You can't just allow your emotions to dictate what you say or how you treat people. No. Because if we're called in the likeness of Christ, did he do that? Did he allow his emotions to dictate how he spoke to people? Did he allow his emotions to dictate how he treated people? Did he allow his emotions to dictate how he loved people? No, he loved everyone the same. He didn't change up because it's this person. He didn't change up because it's that person. He didn't change up because this person made him feel this way. No, he kept it the same. He had consistency in what he did. He had consistency in what he said. He had consistency in what he believed. And a lot of us are out here just running astray and just doing things in the lives of people, creating more damage within their lives. You have to understand, you have to put yourself in a position, and I know this is probably harder. And a lot of people, they tell me I'm a very generous person. And I thank them for those words. They say I'm a very generous person. And sometimes I do allow my generosity to go above me, because I will put myself in the worst position just so that I can see other people in the best position in their life. And I know that it's not right all the time, but it's just a part of me. I want to see people successful. I want to see people happy. I want to see people loved. I want to see people taken care of. I want to see people in all of these positions that they dreamed of. So that's why I put myself in those positions. I do. And, a lot of times we have to be mindful of the positions that we put ourselves in, because sometimes it hurt us in the end. I understand that. But that's when we have to put our trust in God and understand that who we are is a gift. And that gift that he has made us is a gift to those that are around us. But we have to be sure to use that gift in the right way, because a lot of times we don't. We weaponize that gift against people. And that's not right. That's not why God gave us this gift. And I want you to understand that sometimes you will forfeit a blessing. You will forfeit a gift that God is trying to give you because of how you treat people, because of what you do into the lives of what you do and what you put into the lives of other people. Sometimes you forfeit yourself a blessing that God is trying to give you in that moment. So you have to be mindful of what you do. You have to be mindful of what you say. You have to be mindful of how you're loving people, because sometimes, like I said, you're forfeiting yourself out of a blessing that God is trying to give you. And then on top of that, now you're not using well what God has given you. So how do you think he's going to trust you with more things after that? If you're not using the gift that he is giving you right now in the way that he intended you to use, don't expect him to give you more. Don't expect him to give you more because you're not using well what you have been given right now. But if you use well what you have been given, even more will be given to you. And so now it's time to really do, and I speak a lot about self-evaluation because this is what we have to do in order to live a more peaceful and fulfilled life, especially in the presence of God. These are the things that we have to do. We have to do self-evaluation on ourselves. We have to do self-evaluation on ourselves at all times. It's needed and it's called for. It's called for. And we have to learn to be guided by him. And if you need some encouragement on guidance, like a prayer on guidance, I made a video yesterday and I'm gonna put it right here in the video. Watch that video. Watch that video because in there it is some encouraging words and it's an encouraging prayer for you, a prayer for guidance, a prayer for removal of things that is hindering you from living in the way that God needs you to. And I just want y'all to know, man, look, I love y'all. I'm here for you. Always praying for you. All right? Y'all have a blessed one.